Alright, welcome back to our SolidWorks tutorial series on the Blink camera. What we're going to do next is the actual camera piece. Again, there's three different pieces to this. We've already done the base in the previous video. This piece though, or this part, we're going to break up into three videos. There's all kinds of different features that we're going to use on here. We're going to do quite a few of these, and I want to break it up. I don't want a 25-minute video. I rather have no more than 10-minute videos, and hopefully we'll get that. All right, so this is what we're going to complete. Once again, I'm going to go up and I'm going to say new, pick part, hit OK. Now, if you remember in the last video when I did the base, I picked the front plane. I'm going to do that again here, simply because if you remember, my base was this way, so kind of looking straight on, and I'm going to do the same thing with the camera. I want to look straight onto the camera. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my origin the very center of that camera. So where that circle was in the very middle, where the actual camera is, that's going to be the center. So we did have a square camera, so I'm going to hit the rectangle command, and I'm just going to throw a rectangle up here. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to dimension it. I just happen to know that it's 2 inches by 2 inches. All right. I also know, let me get out of this. I also know that it is, I believe, 1.25 deep. So I'm going to go to Features. I'm going to Extrude. Now once again, look at how it started to extrude toward me. I want it to extrude back because I want that origin on my front face, not on the back. So I'm going to change it to 1.25. If that's wrong, I can go back and change it, and then I want to reverse it. This is the button right here. You click, and it throws it back. Now you can see my origin is on that front plane, and that's where I want it. I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so there's my basic block, right? That's kind of what it looks like. Now, if I go back, I'm going to keep referring back to this so you can kind of see what we're doing. On the back of it, I have a circle here, which is a snap for the base if I want to use that. I have one on the bottom, and then I also have this cutout, which is where the plug goes. Now, I could get into a lot more detail here, but I didn't. I just did a basic plug. You can't even see where the little USB thing goes. We don't need that. Not for this video. We don't need that much detail. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create these three shapes and those radii on the side. So I'm going to go back. Again, the nice thing is too, if you have more than one drawing open, you can just go over your icon and then click on the one you want. So I know this is my front face, so I'm going to go to the back face. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click Sketch. I know it happens to be, that hole happens to be right in the middle, so I'm just going to pick Circle. I happen to know that it's a 5/8 diameter, so I'm just going to go 0.625. What you can also do, if you know the fractional, 0.625 is 5/8. So if I just go 5/8, or the fractional piece, it's the same thing. Makes if you don't know the decimal equivalent of a fraction, you can just use the fraction. That's kind of a neat feature. Now I'm going to do a quick extrusion of that, but instead of doing an extrude boss, I'm going to do an extrude cut because I'm cutting that piece out. It puts 1.25 in there because that was the last one that we used. I happen to know, that it's actually 1/8 or 0.125. It shows me what it will be. I'm going to hit OK, and there's my cutout. Fairly easy. I'm going to do that bottom one too. Again, I can just go Sketch. Now this one's a little bit trickier because I know that my center point is right here because that's my origin. So I can pick my circle, and I'm going to square that up a bit. I'm going to pick my circle. I think I already did. And you can see the circle tool. When I go up, you see that dotted line. Now, it doesn't really tell me where the center piece is, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to put it here. I know I'm in the center this way, and I'm going to dimension it. It is the same dimension. It's 5/8, 0.625. And I'm also going to throw another dimension. I want it right in the middle from there to there. If that's 1.25, I can go half of 1.25, which is 0.625. And that will put it in the middle of that block. I've already lined it up with this. I could put a dimension here too, just to make sure, but I'm not going to worry about that for right now. I'm going to go to Features. I'm going to do another extruded cut. It keeps the same value that I had in there before. I'm going to turn that sideways. You can kind of see it. I'm going to hit OK, and there's my second one. Okay, so there's those two. Now I have the cut. I'm going to line this up. I have the cut that's going to go right here. All right, that cut I know has a certain shape. I'm just going to, again, kind of put that shape in, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this surface, which is what I'm going to sketch on. Now notice I could go up to the top and pick Sketch, but I'm also given the option here that says Edit Sketch. This should be New Sketch. There you go, Sketch. And it brings up my sketch window. So two different ways. You click on the surface, you can click on Sketch there, or you can come up here and hit Sketch. Either way, doesn't matter. All right, so that shape, I'm going to use the center piece again. I know it's in the middle. So, okay, I'm going to do something like that. I also know that it has those little 45 degree cuts on it. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to use my line tool. Just create a couple of a few lines on the sides. Okay. Now I'm going to go dimension it. And again, I happen to know from here to here, it's 0.125 or 1/8. Same thing between here and here, 0.125. Oh, there might be one thing that I'm missing here. I didn't dimension the overall box. I took pictures when I did it, so let me take a peek. Yeah, so this overall here is actually 0.75. Okay, and I also know, well, I'll do that in a minute. So my height, also I should put my height in there. My height is 3/8, or, well, I just go 3/8. It's 3.375. I'll go 3/8. I want this at 45 degrees, so I can pick those two lines, 45 degrees. Now, since I secured this point with that dimension, it just moves this line to meet that 45 degree mark, which is a pretty easy way to do it. Once you get a particular point in line, you can use it. You get in trouble that way too, but you can use it for other dimensions. All right, now I want to use that trim entity. I'm going to use the power trim, and now I'm going to get rid of everything that I don't want. I'm going to hold the left button down and just drag it over the lines I don't want. I don't want any of these ones in the middle either. And in the end, there's my box. Okay? I do want it, now I've already centered it, so I know it's in the middle, but I do want a dimension from here to here. I believe, let me make sure I know what that is. I think it was 3/16. Nope, it was 0.125, so it was 1/8, 0.125. Okay, and that is where that is going to, so I've created that shape, just created a box, cut it away the way I want it. Now I'm going to go to Features, I'm going to do another extruded cut. I believe that is 0.25 deep. And again, if it's not 2.5 deep, I can go change it later. I'm going to hit OK, and there's that box. All right, so that's where my plug goes. Again, I could have put a dimension in there to make sure it stays on center, Okay, you can. It's up to you. Now, one thing I want to do is round these corners. I mentioned before I like doing it in the fillet command. I know that I believe it's a 0.5. I can change it if I have to, and I'm going to just, you want to make sure again you have that full profile on. I'm going to click each corner. It's going to look nice. I could have also, when I drew this, you know, put circles in here the right way, but this is, I think, a quicker way to do it. And then there's my radii. So I have this in the back, I have that where my plug goes, and I have another mounting point from the bottom. One thing I want to make sure I do, just because, like I said, it makes it look nice. If I go here, look at where I have the radii, or I keep saying radii, I mean fillets. There's nothing in the front, but all these back pieces back here are all rounded slightly. It's always good to have those. So I'm going to go back to that piece, and I'm just going to add all those fillets. And I'm going to go 0.02. I think that's what I used before. You can zoom in on that and just lay those in. Might make those a tad bit smaller. Okay. I'm going to make them a little bit smaller. I'm going to make it, oops, 0.015. Not that big of a difference, but it is. Alright, that just makes it look a little nicer. And again, I can go up here if I want a real good look at it, and you can see everything is nice and smooth. Okay, this is step one for the camera. Like I said, there's going to be 3 different videos to get this camera piece done. This is the first one. This is the end of camera video number 1. On to video number 2 for the camera.